Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look to see what message your guides have for you about your finances or your financial situation. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. But before we jump into that, I want to thank those of you who have left comments down below and my videos offering some suggestions, some topics for pick a card readings. I'm super excited to begin incorporating those into weekly readings for you guys. So that's something I'm really excited about. If all of those of you watching, if anybody has any topics, anything that you'd like to see, any requests, leave them in the comment section down below. I absolutely read those and I respond to all of my comments. And I'd love to incorporate those topics in for you guys, because this channel is for you all. I do this for you guys. So please let me know, what types of things are you wanting to see? What types of content would you like to see? I'd be happy, like I said, to incorporate those into my readings that I give for you guys each week. I generally post a reading daily from Tuesday through Saturday. So no new videos posted on Sundays or Mondays. Those are kind of my days off, but Tuesdays through Saturdays, and then Saturday mornings, there will be a weekly energy reading going up every Saturday morning. I just started that this last Saturday. So if you haven't taken a look at that, go check that out. We'll be looking at and kind of talking about the energy that you guys will be coming into, dealing with, working with for the upcoming week. It just kind of gets you guys prepared, gives you something to look forward to. Also, it's a really great and very helpful resource to have if you've got big things coming up that week too, so you can kind of know, like I said, what energies you'll be dealing with too. Also later this week, I'll be posting a reading that kind of coincides with this new moon in Virgo coming up. I believe, at least in my area, that is going to be on the Thursday the 14th. So be looking out for that. That should go up that morning for that kind of lunar event. We'll probably be doing that regularly, kind of readings that coincide with major astrological events and lunar events too, the new moon, the full moon, all of that stuff. So that is super exciting. I'm really excited for that. I'm just super excited in general. In my area, it's finally starting to feel like fall. It's like my favorite time of the year. So I'm really excited about that. I've got my pumpkin spice latte. I've got like this caffeine high going on here as well. But I'm really excited for spooky season. I have a bunch of things planned too for that time of the year for different like types of readings. And I have some really cool decks that are just really, they're very fall-ish. They're very spooky-ish. So I'm super excited about all of that stuff, you guys. I can't wait to share that with you all. But let's go ahead and get started here. Also, please don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share. It helps the channel so much and allows me to continue to put these videos out here for you guys. But yeah, so let's dive in here. We have 3 piles for you all to choose from for this reading, where we're going to be taking a look to see what your guides want you to know regarding your current financial situation. Also, just kind of a thing, this is going to be a timeless reading as well. So even if this is something that you're seeing way in the future, this is for you. This is for everybody. Whenever you see it, it's obviously the time that you're meant to see it, when your guides want you to see it. So just wanted to throw that out there too. But anyway, so 3 piles here, 1, 2, and 3. You'll be picking from a tarot deck. We'll pull some oracle cards and stuff like that on camera for you all, and we'll use whatever tarot deck it is that you chose. I also have another deck here that we can use for clarification if we need to do something like that. But here are your 3 piles here to choose from. You may feel called to just one pile. You might feel called to multiple. There are some people who like to watch all 3 or the whole video and then kind of decide what they feel resonates most for them. Whatever you guys feel called to, that's the right thing for you. You won't pick incorrectly. Just follow your intuition. We'll have these here. You can pause the video too if you need a little bit more time to decide. but the timestamps for all of those piles are going to be in the description down below, as well as the top comment too. I'll pin that up there for you guys. Sometimes that's easier to find than to kind of muddle through the description. So I will have all that for you guys. I'll also have all of the decks that I use in my readings. I always put those in the description box below as well. So if you guys are interested in any of those, that will be there for you. They're not necessarily the links that I got the cards from, because in some cases I can't find them at the the website that I bought them from. It's not available anymore, or there's a few from independent artists that I've purchased directly from them when they've came to like local art festivals and stuff like that. But I will have like I said, I'll have all of that stuff in the description box down below for you guys. Any and all the links, they'll be down there for you. But let's go ahead and jump into the readings. I will see you guys in your respective piles. Bye. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You've chosen the Phantom Wise Tarot deck here, and we're going to be taking a look to see what messages your guides have for you for your current financial situation. So let's go ahead and get started here. First, we're going to pull a couple of oracle cards on camera, and then we'll pull some tarot cards for you as well from the deck that you've chosen. So let me grab that. We're going to start with the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck. This deck I'm pretty new to this deck, but oh my gosh, I love it so much, you guys. It's gorgeous. Even just the artwork on the back is so pretty. So I love that. So let's go ahead. Let's pull a card for you from this here, kind of get a good idea what your guides want you to know about your financial situation. Oh, and it looks like we have 2. So you guys have 2 cards here. So we have Lavender with Weaver, and we have Damiana with the Beloved. Okay. So let me grab the book for you guys. We're going to take a look a little bit and see kind of what the keywords are for this. We can read a little bit more about the card later on once we pull some tarot decks and stuff if we feel like that's necessary. So yes, let me grab that for you. All right, so we'll start with Damiana here, number 11. It looks like this is ruled by both Venus and Pluto here for you guys. Let me pick this card up so you can see your card a little bit better. The glare from the light kind of makes it hard to see sometimes, I know. So Damiana, the Beloved. The keywords here are magnetism, attraction, kindred spirits, soulmates, relationships, intimacy, sacred play, finding the beloved within. All right, just a little bit of info. Damiana is native to Central and South America, and it dates back to the ancient Mayan and Aztecs. So that's super interesting here. So, and it's commonly used to treat depression, anxiety. It can help with sleep as well. I know in super large doses, I believe it can be a bit of a hallucinogen too as well. But anyway, so this is really interesting here. We're going to put that to the side. And let's take a look at Lavender now. 20, the Weaver. Let me pull that from the guidebook as well for you guys. Kind of see here. There it is. Okay. So yes, the ruler is Mercury. And then this says, it is the Weaver of potential, new beginnings, intuitive intellect, contemplative phase, emotional fulfillment, and walking in alignment. Yes, definitely. Got some nice feminine energy here, kind of this mother here with her child, of the spider web as well. So let's go ahead. We'll put this over here too for you guys. We'll pull some tarot cards, get a little bit more information about your financial situation here. I'm definitely seeing partnership as kind of something here for you guys. We got, and partnership not necessarily in a romantic relationship, but just kind of in general, because you notice so many of these cards, it's just one figure on the card. And this, in both of these, we've got two figures together, you know, two humans, two figures together here on both of these cards. So I think that that's a really interesting thing here to see. But like I said, let's pull some tarot cards, get a little bit more information for you guys. Here, I do notice something jumping out at me. We have this angel over here. We've got these angel wings over here. So it definitely feels like there's some sort of divine guidance here kind of surrounding you all. But yeah, here we go. Let's get a little bit more information about pile number 1's financial situation. Let's see. Let's get a few more cards here for you. Feeling that one and this one. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands. These cards are just kind of what am I trying to say? The texture of the cards, they just kind of, or I guess the card stock, whatever it is that they're made out of, it just kind of bends quite easily. The Six of Pentacles. Oh, perfect. Okay. The Seven of Wands. The Eight of Pentacles. The Two of Wands. Lots of Wands energy here. Wands, Pentacles. We have the Emperor. The Queen of Swords. And the Eight of Swords. Okay. Oh, interesting. We have the Eight of Pentacles and both the eights right here at the end. That's very interesting. Ace of Wands, Two of Wands. Okay. This is a really interesting reading, pile number 1. All right. Pile number 1, something that I'm seeing here, first off, really jumping out at me here, is the Six of Pentacles over the Emperor. I feel like, and this really, like I said, it kind of speaks to this feeling I've got of like partnership here with these two cards where there's some sort of assistance coming in. Now this assistance with a financial situation, this could be someone you know, something personal, you know, kind of a personal thing, a significant other. It could be a friend. It could be even just I don't know, like just even a job offering you more money, something like that. However, I do see with the Emperor here, it feels like that's kind of what this is that there is someone here who is going to be offering you some type of assistance. Now, this assistance, like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily be just giving you a gift of money. This could also be giving you financial advice. That, you know, this could be some sort of financial advisor. This could be some sort of even a loan approval or something like that. And that's kind of something that I'm seeing here with the Emperor card. The Emperor definitely talks about this divine masculine, very, it's like it's more than a king, you know, within the tarot. He's above that. So we're looking at something that is like big divine energy, divine masculine energy, assistance here. So like I said, this could be a loan approval. This could, if that's something that you're waiting on, that it could be something like that. That's kind of what it's feeling like here. And with the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands here too, it seems like there's like you've had some sort of idea. There's something that you want to begin, and it's like almost, it's like the idea has come in and you've even chosen the path kind of that you're wanting to take. You know which path you're wanting to take here. I feel like it's the correct path as well. When I'm looking at these two wands and the imagery of this specific card, I see that this branch kind of, it splits and it looks quite frail, fragile, maybe not very sturdy here, but you notice that the cat has chosen the the thicker branch that is much more secure, much sturdier. And you see that it's not even really diminishing in size that much out on the end. So this is much more secure here. And so something that I'm hearing, first of all, is that there's a feeling of security coming in, if that is not currently present. Excuse me. So I'm seeing that 100%, but I'm also seeing that security is going to partially come in the form of some sort of assistance here for you. So something that maybe you've been waiting on, you've been hoping for in order to make this happen for yourself. This does kind of feel like, this could feel like you have your own business possibly, or your own creative venture that you're wanting to kind of turn into like your full-time job, maybe something that was kind of a side gig that you're kind of wanting to make it your main gig, type of situation here. That's kind of the energy that I'm feeling. And I'm feeling that there is help coming, like I said, in some form or fashion. This does kind of feel like, the only thing that's coming to mind is like daddy energy a little bit with the Emperor. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that, I guess if you're looking for a sugar daddy and that's your thing, maybe this is the sign for you saying that's going to come in. But I do see that some sort of help is going to come in from and it doesn't have to necessarily be male, by the way. It's just kind of someone who embodies that energy, that fiery, go get it, hustle type of energy, this very, this also very secure as well. Like they themselves are financially secure. They themselves are financially well off. And so much so that they have something to offer to you as well, and I feel like too, there's almost it's almost this thing where it's like they're going to find that you're the worthy one, you're worthy of their help. Like there might be some sort of other competition here, and it's you who is going to receive this possibly rather than someone else. And something that's standing out to me here with the imagery on this particular card is that the one that's actually receiving the help, receiving the bone, and this, it's like they've really extended themselves. They've really demonstrated how bad they want it. They've even like raised themselves up. Like, this little dog here just has like the one little foot up, it's kind of this half-hearted. It almost feels half-hearted, where this one, they are really, it's like this wholehearted thing. And maybe this wholehearted belief that if they truly work hard and show that it is what they want, that this is something that they want, it's going to be offered to them. Okay. And they're going to be able to receive that. So that might kind of be something that's kind of a message coming through as well, is that it has been recognized and noticed that whatever this help is, or, in whatever form that it's coming in, it's been recognized that you're the one who's worthy of receiving that here. I see that definitely with the Eight of Pentacles as well. You have been working hard in an effort to master something, master your craft, master whatever this kind of idea is. You've been working hard at that, possibly even putting together a business plan to present to someone, to an investor maybe. That's kind of what the Emperor card is kind of giving me, that feeling, kind of like an investor coming through here. Now, how this ties in with the Damiana and the lavender, I feel like intuition and manifestation are going to be a big thing here for you. I feel like you have really, this almost feels like the culmination of your manifestation. Like it's beginning to happen for you here with all of this. This talks a lot, like I said, about intuition. Lavender talks a lot about intuition, and also and both of these two are great herbs for relaxing. I have a Lunar Blooms herbal blend that has both Damiana and lavender in it, because they are great for relaxing, for helping you sleep, for putting you at ease, for putting your mind at ease too. And so I feel like that is very much an energy, or very much a message here, is that you are going to feel a sense of ease finally, and I say finally because I feel like you have been previously in a situation where you did not feel like that, where you've really kind of been fighting for this. It almost feels like fighting for your place under the sun, fighting for this this help, fighting for fighting for your, I guess, fighting for your rightful place, I almost want to say, kind of here, especially with the Queen of Swords. But I see that you've really mastered your mind here. That's why this feels very much like almost a manifestation coming in. If this is something that you've really been manifesting and trying to bring into your life here, I'm feeling like that's the case here. And a bit of advice as well is to not let your mind trap you either. If you notice here in the imagery of this particular Eight of Swords card, her hands are, okay, so she's surrounded by these swords, right? They're actually pinned into her dress here. So they're pinned into her dress, kind of keeping her still, kind of keeping her trapped here. She has this blindfold over her eyes, so she can't see anything. It doesn't really look like her wrists are tied, her arms are tied here in this particular card. And a lot of the traditional Eight of Swords imagery, you do kind of see that, but it's really hard to tell if that's really the case here. So it's kind of, to me, it seems, like if she really wanted to, she could get out of her head a little bit and not be so worried, take the blindfold off, and then turn around and start removing these swords from her dress, from her situation here. So I feel like you have a lot more control than you realize, possibly, especially mentally with your mind. I think it's going to be really important throughout this journey too, of receiving this help. Like I said, you've really been fighting for, I feel like you've just really been advocating for yourself. That's it. You've really been advocating for yourself here for this help. Really trying to make a case for yourself too, as to why someone should invest in you, why someone should invest in, this new idea, this new business, this path that you've taken. I do see that you've chosen the correct path. You've made a very wise choice here. And you're really going to prove, like, I see that you've become a master at your craft too, but at the same time, you're going to really be proving that to others as well. They are going to be able to see that too. And I think this figure, whoever this Emperor is going to represent in your situation, like I said, whether this represents a significant other, an investor, a large financial institution, like if this is a business loan that you're wanting, that you're applying for, that you want to take, that you would like to take out in order to support your business and really help it get off the ground and get going. I see that that's coming in here, and you really have proven, you're going to prove to others, and you have really been advocating for yourself here that you can be a master of your craft, that you are a master of your craft, and that you will have something great to show for it once you receive this help. I do see though that you need to make sure that you're not allowing yourself to spiral and allow negative thoughts to creep in, thoughts of like self-doubt, thoughts of, I feel like that's the main one, honestly, thoughts of self-doubt, thoughts, just negative thoughts. What if, lots of what if scenarios, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? I feel like it's important to kind of sit back here, particularly with this being the Queen of Swords, and just allow yourself to receive this good thing, these good things, this good energy, this helpful energy, this assistance here to come into your life and benefit you, bless you, with that, with the situation, with this new endeavor that you're trying to get started on or really accomplish something with. Okay, so make sure you're not allowing yourself to spiral here. Make sure that you're not allowing yourself to feel trapped by your own mind, by negative thoughts here. Have control of this sword, because you see with the Queen of Swords, she is very much in control of this sword. She has her eyes wide open. She's very aware of her surroundings, but you notice there's nothing. She doesn't have a bunch of clouds over here right by her eyes. Her eyes aren't covered. There's all these clouds back here, like there's something being hidden, or like there's some sort of storm brewing, and the swords represents the mind. So storms, like a storm brewing in your mind, there's none of that going on here. The sky is very clear. She can see all the stars. And I'm seeing here that, if don't allow negative thoughts to cloud your mind, because that's not necessarily your reality here. Don't allow that to become your reality. Don't manifest those things, but just because those thoughts come up doesn't mean that they're going to manifest. It's one of those things where you have to accept the thought, give it neutral attention, and let it go type of situation here. And I think that's going to be the key here, is to allow those thoughts, those self-defeating thoughts, doubts, whatever they may be, allow those to, just like clouds, they blow in, they blow out, they don't stick around, they don't hang around for long. Don't allow them to, just observe them, give them neutral attention, let them move on. Don't allow your worries to kind of make you feel trapped here, because like I said, there's definitely hope coming in. That's something that your guides need you to know about your financial situation. They also want to acknowledge the hard work that you've put in, both at mastering your craft and at, advocating for yourself as well, and really advocating for this wand here, for this idea that you have, for choosing a wise path here. But I think listening to your intuition and allowing your mind to be at ease here is going to be a key thing for you. Pile number 1. Let's get one more or a couple more oracle messages here for you. We're going to start with this one here. Let's grab just a message or two for pile number 1, trickery. Okay, I'm going to grab the guidebook and we're going to see a bit more about what this card says here. Oh, wow. I opened right to it. Okay. So, says crows are known for stealing another bird's stash and then hiding it, covering up with leaves to throw off its tracks. Trickery brings to your attention that someone may be trying to deceive you. When trickery appears, it is a signal to be aware, to be more conscious of the action of those around you, because someone may be trying to employ a bit of deception to get what they want. This says if you have a contract to sign, give it a closer look. There may be a clause in there that was not discussed that you may find unfavorable. Trickery takes many shapes and sizes. This card may also indicate that your situation could benefit from allowing for some innovative and creative thinking. A little deception for the sake of the greater good may be warranted. I feel like with trickery here, now there is definitely, like, if you're going to be signing contracts, I don't think that it's bad advice at all to, make sure you let me first of all say that I am not an attorney. This is not official legal counsel. I just feel like it is generally a good idea, just advice from one human to another. It's a good idea to read over everything really well before you sign a contract, before you accept help from someone. Make sure that the terms and conditions are all things that you can deal with, that are relatively favorable for you, etc., etc. So let me just go ahead and say that as far as taking the message of this card and what it's saying totally literally. Okay, but something that I'm seeing too, something that I really felt here through this was that trickery can also be in your mind here, because that's something that I'm seeing here with this 8 of Swords, is it's like your mind tricking you into thinking, because that's what this is. It's her mind tricking her into thinking that her situation is hopeless, that she's totally stuck, that she has nowhere to go, that she's just got to, wait for someone to maybe walk by and say, hey, you could take the blindfold off and get those swords out of your dress, girl. You don't have to just be sitting there waiting. Like, you do realize that, I don't know. It's just kind of that energy, where it's just, don't let your mind trick you into thinking that, I don't know, that your situation is hopeless. Don't allow your mind to trick you into, letting yourself spiral, like negatively spiral or something like that, where you've got all these worries that you weren't having. You've got one thought that pops up that's not the greatest, and then you just like run with that and go down the rabbit hole. Don't allow your mind to do that to you. I kind of feel like that's what this trickery card is really about. I mean, other than the literal sense of just anytime you sign a contract, obviously you need to be reading the terms and conditions, make sure you know what you're signing, but I'm not necessarily saying that this is that you're going to come up against someone trying to trick you or do you dirty in some way, shape, or form here. So I do think that that's worth mentioning, that this is most likely, and what I'm really feeling is that this is mostly about your mind. Don't allow your mind to trick you into being your worst enemy here. Have control over that, okay? Have control over those thoughts, but the best way to control those thoughts are to just let them slide by and not pay them any attention, not give them negative attention where you're like, oh, I don't need to be thinking that, because that's still attention in some way, right? So it's kind of one of those things you notice people in life, they will, particularly people who are trying to consciously manifest, they will, they'll end up manifesting the thing that they actually hate because they're still putting energy towards that. They're still putting energy towards that, even if it's energy that they don't want it, but then somehow it happens. Don't be doing that. Just, like I said, negative thought comes in, something that's self-defeating, something that has to do with self-doubt, something that has to do with maybe doubting the quality of this idea or of this business or of this work that you're doing. Just neutral attention, allow it to fly, just allow those clouds to pass right by. You do not have to grab onto those and keep your head stuck in those and allow that to pin you down, okay? You have full control over that. So just allow that to fly, those clouds to just move on past, out of your peripheral, and keep a steady hold on your mind, so on your thoughts and the types of thoughts that we're engaging in. It's really about engaging. Don't, try not to engage in those negative thoughts here, okay? Pile number 1. But I feel like this is the overall message for you here with your financial situation. I do want to pull one more little oracle card for you. I love these little spirit animal oracle cards. I love the little messages, the keywords on them for you. I think that's, I don't know. I really love them. So here we have the dignified dragon with honor, good fortune, and individuality. And it says, fearless dancer of the flame, ignite the passionate fire within my soul. Yes. So this feels very much like the Ace of Wands, is really igniting fire, igniting passion here. But I do really want to point out here the good fortune here. I think that this is you are going to be coming up against good fortune. That doesn't make sense. Coming up into a situation where you're going to be experiencing very good fortune and some assistance here, or whatever assistance you've been asking for, you are going to actually receive that here. It's going to be recognized. Your hard work, your effort, your dedication is going to not just be recognized by your guides, but it's going to be recognized externally within your world. They're going to recognize the value of what it is that you have to offer, particularly since you've been advocating so well for yourself in this situation. But anyways, listen to your intuition here with these. And just, like I said, remember, don't let yourself spiral here. light clouds, let those just pass by and don't engage. Okay, pile number one, that is what I'm seeing for you with your financial situation. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. It helps the channel so much. If you have any type of requests for just pick a card readings or any sort of general information that you'd like to see presented or talked about on the channel, leave those in the comments down below. I definitely read all of your comments and like and respond to each one. And I always appreciate that. So anyways, this is what we have for you. I want to thank your guides for coming through to provide you with this message, and I will see you all in your next reading. Bye. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the totally unofficial Adventure Time Tarot deck. And today we are going to take a look to see what messages your guides have for you about your finances or your financial situation. So we're going to pull a couple of oracle cards for you guys, and then we're going to pull from one oracle deck, and we may get a couple of messages there from that. And then we'll take a look at your tarot cards that you've chosen with this deck to see what those messages are for you. I've got another deck here in case we decide that we need some clarification for you. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. We'll start with that Herbal Astrology Oracle. I really love this deck. I love the imagery on this deck as well. I think it is so pretty. But let's get started with that here. So a message for pile number two, and we'll do two. That's what we got last time with the last pile. So let's see what we have here. We have Arnica, the Teacher, and we have Passion Flower with Surrender. And it's interesting, Arnica here we have 33, so that might be, you might be seeing threes. 33 might kind of be a number that you see quite often. It might kind of be a number that resonates for you. 33 is a master number, I believe, as well. It talks a lot about service to others. It also talks about being kind of a master manifester as well. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there. It looks like Arnica is ruled, this is a relatively new deck for me, so still kind of learning it here, but it looks like Arnica is ruled by the sign of Jupiter here. We have this really beautiful imagery here with this. So that's very interesting as well. We'll read about the cards from the guidebook in a moment here. And then this is Passion Flower with Surrender. Looks like this one is partially, oh my gosh, my brain is not working today. It looks like it is partially ruled by the moon. Let's see here. So I'm definitely seeing, and actually this is ruled by the moon here. With this one, we have this wolf like howling kind of at the moon. So this is really interesting. I feel like intuition is going to play a pretty big part here for you. Pile number two, but let's go ahead. We'll pull some tarot cards for you first, and then we will jump into your reading here. So messages for pile number two about their financial situation. That one, this one, those two, this one, and that one. And these two want to come out, so we'll do that. Okay. So let's see here. We have the Devil. We have the Hierophant, the Knight of Wands, the Two of Cups, the Eight of Coins, the Ten of Coins. Yeah. They don't like to stay, they like to dance around on my desk. They're pretty slippery cardstock here. The Ace of Swords with the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Coins. Okay. Actually, I don't want that there. I want this here. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at the keywords here for these cards. And I was actually mistaken now that I've looked at this. This is not Jupiter, this is Saturn, which makes way more sense with the keyword, the teacher, because that's very much kind of what Saturn is. It kind of teaches us lessons here. So that makes a lot more sense. But let's go ahead and read a little bit about this Arnica card. So it's keywords are loyalty, commitment, perseverance, teacher, stability, companionship, community, and unique path. And then with Passion Flower, it is sacrifice, surrender, choosing growth, trusting discernment, rituals of letting go, and its rulers are Neptune and the moon. So let's see here. So I'm really seeing here that this is, so first of all, just kind of the obvious, you might be going through a Saturn return right now, coming out of one, about to go into one. You might kind of be in that situation here. Saturn return, if you don't know what that is, it happens every 30 years in someone's lifetime, and it's where, so Saturn, the planet of Saturn is in a particular astrological sign whenever we're born, and the Saturn's rotation is 30 years. So it takes 30 years for it to get back to that same position in that sign, that same degree. So during your Saturn return, you're usually somewhere between the age of 27 to like 31, 32, 33, somewhere in there. So, which is interesting that this Arnica is number 33 in the book, but so it takes about that long to go back around. And when it returns back to that sign, that kind of your natal sign, it usually comes with a bunch of lessons in some way, shape, or form. So these are going to be lessons about kind of about being an adult. You know, once we hit our 30s, we kind of start to feel a little bit more like an adult, or we're kind of expected to be a little bit more of an adult. So these will be lessons. It just kind of depends. Everyone's lessons are different, but they're usually around money, finances, career, relationships, and just kind of this expectation that it's time to integrate everything that we've learned in the past 30 years. It's time to integrate those lessons and begin to move forward. And kind of practicing whatever it is that we've learned from those situations. So that's pretty interesting here with this. Something that I always think of with Arnica, Arnica also is something, so my day job, I'm a registered nurse. I've worked in aesthetics before, and we generally have clients take Arnica to prevent bruising whenever they're going to be receiving some sort of procedure, injections that could cause bruising. Arnica can help prevent bruising. So I do kind of see that this is almost like this lesson. That's just something that keeps popping up to me. It's something that I keep thinking about. And so it's kind of, it's like there's this lesson here for you to learn, possibly about maybe preventing a bruise, preventing something that could leave a mark, right? Like making it through a situation without allowing it to leave a mark on you, or a kind of I almost want to say like a stain, a discoloration on your soul. That's just something that keeps popping out, that I just keep hearing, is like a discoloration on your soul, like this, something that like has wounded you. It's kind of, that's kind of what I'm hearing here, is it's like being able to go through a situation, learn a lesson, and it not leave or not allowing it to leave some sort of unpleasant mark. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing for that, or hearing for that. We're going to get into your tarot cards here in a minute, because I feel like they are definitely kind of coinciding with this message here for you. Okay, so let's see here with the Devil card. So this kind of comes into play with that. The Devil card can talk a lot about kind of being tied down of our own volition, kind of making the choice. It can also talk about like addiction, you know, so it can talk about addiction, but generally it's talking about choices that we've made to stay in a situation that is not necessarily best for our own growth, for our own journey. Okay. Typically the Devil card, the symbolism on the Devil card are two people. It's like a man and a woman, and they don't have their hands tied. They don't have their hands cuffed. They're not helpless. I think that's the best way to say it. They're not totally helpless, but they have chains around their neck, loosely draped around their neck and their shoulders, right? So almost like a loose necklace. So they have the ability, their hands are free. They could remove themselves from the situation. They could remove the chains from their necks, from their shoulders, and walk away. However, they're choosing to stand there kind of idly, looking up at this devil figure or whatever the situation would be here. And kind of, or whatever their situation may be, and just kind of allow themselves to kind of be stuck by that. So that's kind of something that I'm seeing here with your reading, is that there's almost this feeling, at least kind of this current feeling of being stuck a little bit, or maybe feeling trapped. With the Hierophant too, it tends to talk about, you know, you have this like very strict, almost angry looking in this card, religious ruler is kind of what they're symbolizing here. It's like this strict religious ruler, these really strict traditional values. And I kind of feel like that's the situation for you. Almost like there's this feeling of being trapped by tradition. Okay. That's kind of what I'm seeing here with this. And, you know, it's really interesting too with this passion flower. Passion flower, it talks about the ritual of letting go. Okay. Of using your discernment here and letting go. And I see here that is kind of something that I'm feeling like is the overall arching theme of your reading. Is that number one, this is a lesson to be learned, I believe. I think that you're going to learn a very valuable lesson from this. I think that the best way, I think you're being advised that the best way to learn this lesson is going to be, letting go, but kind of choosing growth in this situation here, because that's like a major keyword with the passion flower. Like key phrase is surrendering, letting go, choosing growth here. And I think by choosing growth and kind of taking that first step, you're not going to be left with like the bruise of your situation. It's not going to leave an ugly mark. It's not going to leave you with a bit of trauma, you know, because that's really when I'm thinking about arnica and it preventing bruising, we're creating some sort of trauma to the skin. We have usually in the face. And that is, you know, when you're doing that and you're creating some sort of trauma, there's always a risk for a bruise, right? Well, prescribing arnica, having clients take arnica kind of prevents this bruising. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is allowing yourself to learn this lesson. I think with whatever little bit of trauma, and I say a little bit, but that's not to diminish the situation by any means, because, you know, it may not be a situation where it feels just like a little bit of trauma. You might be in a financial situation that feels very traumatic, but I think that by choosing to view this as a lesson, choosing to grow through this as you go through it, is going to be very advantageous for you. I think it's going to prevent this situation from leaving some sort of mark on your world. Whether that's externally, it's something that you have to deal with, or whether it's internally that you're having to deal with this mark. I think that choosing to see this as a lesson, whatever this situation is for you financially, is going to be very useful for you. So there's that. Now, getting into your tarot cards here, like I said, we have the Devil and the Hierophant. So I do feel like your current financial situation is something that you're kind of feeling tied to. You're kind of feeling tied down by traditional thoughts, traditional practices here. I do see here with the Knight of Wands that it's like there's something that you really want to do and go for, but it's almost like I almost feel like you're hitting a wall. There's something about the way that I guess it's a deer in this situation, that they're illustrated. It's almost like, you know how cartoons, they'll run up against a wall and it like flattens them. That's kind of what I'm seeing here with this imagery here. It's like it's run up against the Hierophant almost, and it's like stopped it in its place or something like that. And that's kind of what this feels like. It's like there's really something that you're wanting to do financially, and with this Knight of Wands too, there's so much green here. So this really makes me think that this is, I mean, of course we're talking about your financial situation. That's the topic of this pick a card reading, but I feel like this really just really lets me know that this is the main card. Like, this is what you're wanting in your financial life. You have something that you're really wanting to chase here, some sort of goal, but I feel like you're running up against these traditional thoughts, attitudes, something that's holding you back here. And I see here that it's time to make a choice. Okay, it's time to choose where you go from here. Maybe you've kind of hit a snag, or you have two paths to choose here. And I see that this is kind of something that it's time to make a choice. I do feel like these things are holding you back. And the more that I just kind of sit with your reading, the more I feel like these are possibly limiting beliefs that you have about your finances, about financial things in general, about your beliefs around money and how you can make money and where money comes from and the nature of money, the energy of that. Money is just energy, okay? That's really what it is here. And so if you have beliefs that money is the root of all evil, that money is something that, you need to, I don't know, that having a surplus of that is not good, that people who have, a decent amount of money are evil or greedy or selfish, these are traditional beliefs, because I would say that these are very traditional beliefs that you hear a lot of people say. These are beliefs that are going to hold you back. Also, there's another limiting belief too about money that I feel like lots of people have, and that is that you have to slave away in order to make money, that money does not come passively, that it is something that you have to work very, very, very hard for. You have to like clock in, clock out, do all of, kind of tie yourself to another entity, whether that be a big corporation, a big business, or whatever the situation might be, where you're making, boss makes $1, you make a dime type of situation, right? Where you're really helping grow and build someone else's dream while you're barely, maybe barely getting by. Because that's kind of the general, I think that's the general sentiment amongst lots of people, particularly in the younger generations, is this kind of, just this kind of belief, or kind of this realization that the people who are making the most are the people that are actually putting in, sometimes they're putting in much less effort, than a lot of the rest of us, right? So that's kind of, you'll have to go through this is, like I said, this is a general reading. So some of this is going to resonate, take what resonates, leave the rest. But I do feel like overall there are limiting beliefs surrounding money and your ability to achieve money, to make money here. And I think that it is time to make a choice to leave those behind, those limiting beliefs behind. I think that I think whatever it is that you're going through is going to be a very important lesson for you. I think it's going to be important to allow yourself to learn this lesson now rather than later too. Because what I'm seeing here is that with the correct choice, with the I guess with the removal of these limiting beliefs here, I see that there's going to be a lot of good things that come your way, okay? First of all, I see that there's going to be, with the Eight of Coins, you know, the Eight of Coins talks about kind of mastery. It talks about working hard towards mastery of something, working hard towards the completion of something to a certain extent. So with the Eight of Coins here, I'm seeing that, and the rainbow's really standing out, and it's almost like he's materializing these coins out of nowhere. I think that by removing these limiting beliefs, these traditional beliefs that were probably most likely instilled by parental figures early on, possibly you had parents that always talked about how there was never enough money, or how no matter how hard you work, you're never gonna, you'll only ever just get by, these types of beliefs that tend to hold us back, and we don't even realize it until we become consciously aware of it. I see that if you make the choice to become consciously aware of these things that are holding you back and kind of preventing you from really continuing on your journey to being financially stable and secure, and more than just being stable and secure, but also having all of the comforts of life provided for you, right? Because that's something with the 10 of Coins and the 9 of Coins that we see here, is it's like, it's not just enough to get by, it's more than enough. It's not just enough to where you can have, the luxuries that you'd like to have provided for you, but it's enough that you can provide those for other people, for family members, for, I would say like your inner circle, your family, whoever that may be for you, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. I think that you can kind of, this almost feels like manifesting money in this particular card, with this energy. It's like, I think that money is just going to kind of, it's almost like it's just going to fall from the sky for you once you decide to remove yourself and make the choice to remove yourself from these limiting beliefs. Okay. I see with that too, it's like there's going to be this cascade of things. This is what your guides want you to know about your current financial situation. Okay. Is that once you allow yourself to release these limiting beliefs, these conservative, limiting, traditional beliefs about money and the way that you make money and the way that you spend money and the way and the the values surrounding money, like what type of people are the ones who have a lot of money, etc., etc. Once you make the choice to remove yourself from these limiting beliefs, I see that there's going to be a cascade of amazing things coming into your life because of how much this has actually held you back, whether you realized it or not. First of all, like I said, I see that you're going to not just have, like, first and foremost, you're not just going to have your own luxury, like you're not just going to have your own wants taken care of, because this is past needs. Okay. 9 of Coins is far past needs. This is where we're just talking about wants. We're talking about luxuries. We have all these coins, so many coins that they're just on the ground. We've got these like grapes here, and grapes generally talk about luxury. The color purple is very much a color of luxury. So I'm seeing here that, you're not just going to have your needs met, you're going to have your wants met, and not just have your wants met, but you'll be able to provide, for others, for those who are closest to you, who matter most to you. This is talking about an abundance here of financial security and freedom. Financial freedom is really what I'm hearing here too. And then on top of this, I see that there's going to be new opportunities coming to you as well. And it may be that these opportunities are not just, it may not be that they just kind of materialize out of nowhere. While that can definitely be the case, it could also be that you will begin to see and recognize new opportunities that have maybe always been there, but you haven't really noticed it yet. These are going to be opportunities in your relationships, okay? So with Ace of Cups, so it's really looking at relationships with people. Doesn't have to necessarily just be a romantic relationship. This can be with anybody, friendship, whatever, like I said, could be romantic relationship, but could be friendship, just, relationships just talk about how we relate to others. So I see that really coming in too. I'm also seeing Ace of Swords. There's going to be this like new mental sharpness, this new mental clarity, and new ideas coming forth from that as you begin to remove yourself from this, these beliefs here that are really holding you back and preventing you from going, full speed ahead to achieving your ultimate goals here, your ultimate financial goals. So that is definitely something, that's the message that your guides want you to know, is that as difficult and challenging as this may be, as this lesson may be, it's an important lesson to learn, particularly now. It's important to go ahead and surrender yourself to this lesson, okay? Go ahead and allow yourself to learn this lesson. It's going to be very advantageous to learn it now rather than later, to kind of get a head start on removing yourself from these limiting beliefs, so that, it's almost like to go ahead and start this, because the arnica thing just keeps coming up every time I see it. You take it before the trauma happens to your skin, and then you're way less likely to bruise here. That's kind of what this feels like. You go ahead and get a head start on this. You start removing these limiting beliefs. You start questioning where these beliefs have come from. Start working towards kind of removing the chains of that off of your shoulders, and then as a result, when things happen, when life inevitably happens, as it does, and some sort of new lesson comes forth that it's time to learn, you're going to be more than prepared, and you're not going to suffer the type of trauma that you would have suffered otherwise had you not went ahead and learned this lesson. It's also important to note, I feel like, in this reading regarding Saturn returns, is that if we're lucky, of course, if we're fortunate enough to live to the age, like I said, these come around every 30 years. So there is going to be most people experience a second Saturn return in their late 50s, early 60s. A lot of times with this Saturn return, it heavily depends, or it can heavily depend on whether or not lessons were learned during the first Saturn return, learned and integrated, in your life and in the way that you move within the world, right? So this is something where it's almost like playing the long game. That's kind of what Saturn talks about. It's kind of about playing the long game. And honestly, even with Neptune too, these are planets that don't, they're further out from the sun, right? So their rotation around the sun is significantly slower than some of the like interpersonal planets, like Mercury, Venus, Mars, etc., right? So these have a little bit of a slower rotation around the sun. These are like big picture things that we're talking about here, with Saturn and with Neptune. Typically these are like generational planets is kind of what they're called, because a whole generation is usually born underneath, with the impact of this planet in a specific sign. So I feel like this is a very big picture thing here. This is a very big picture financial message here for you, pile number 2. But I think that it is a really important one for you to hear, so that you can go ahead and start thinking about these limiting beliefs, start removing them from your life, so that you can really experience all the abundance that is there to be offered, to be manifested, okay, to be given to you. And I think that, like I said, this is going to open up more doors than just financial. It's going to open up doors in your personal life, with relationships. Maybe it's the way that you relate to others. Possibly it's, Ace of Cups also or the Cups suit also has they have cards like the Six of Cups, where it's talking about giving to others, right? So this, having financial freedom, financial abundance really allows us to, having that financial blessing allows us to bless others as well, right? So that's kind of what I'm feeling here with the Ace of Cups, is this is going to allow you to kind of pay it forward to a certain extent. Ace of Swords here, this can talk about being able, the swords talks about the higher mind, higher intelligence. This can talk about higher learning, being able to afford to go back to school if that's something that you're interested in, if that resonates for you, being able to really take some sort of idea that you have, some sort of interest that you have, and being able to delve into that, because you have this financial freedom, this financial abundance here in your life that you're going to be able to work with, because it's an energy that comes in that you can work with. And when you have an excess of it, you have the ability to invest that in different ways, even if it's just investing in yourself and your own personal growth, investing in family, friends, like I said, whatever that may be for you personally. But I think that this is like a big picture message that you really needed to hear, pile number 2. I'm going to pull a couple more oracle cards here. We're just going to wrap this up a little bit for you guys because this message has been pretty clear for you all. Let's grab one from this deck here. Feeling this one. Oh, they both want to come out. Okay. Okay, so we have warning and we have ghosts. Now, starting off with ghosts generally talks about things of the past that are no longer actually here impacting our current situation, okay? So that's kind of what I'm feeling here with these limiting beliefs, is that they are kind of ghosts of the past, ghosts of a former life almost is what it feels like. A life when we were, the part of life where we're kind of stuck in our parents' home, in our guardian's home, whoever that may be, whatever that specific situation may look like for you, where we're kind of absorbing their beliefs about different things in life. And one of the big ones is finance. It's kind of something that we all absorb to some extent from our parents. We absorb kind of their beliefs here. And I'm seeing here that, with warning as well, it's not necessarily a negative card. Neither of these are really negative cards. It's advice here for you. Okay. You have a very, and I think it's because there's like this energy of Saturn here. It's like there's this overall theme. It's just this overarching financial advice for you, which is to let go of these limiting beliefs that are really holding you back. These traditional beliefs, these beliefs that come from probably your childhood home that are really holding you back from reaching your full potential, whether you realize it or not. And like I said, by, surrendering to this lesson and learning this lesson, I think that, this is going to allow you to be in a much better situation later on in life when, like I said, things inevitably come up, because that's how life works, right? So that's kind of what the warning here is saying too. It's like, hey, you're being given an opportunity here to leave these things behind and make good choices here with this. This is merely just, it's merely just a warning that in the future, these things are going to severely hold you back and be a significant fire that you'll have to put out if you don't go ahead and get a jump start on it now. So it's not to create any sort of fear here, because that's not what we're trying to do. That's not what I feel this message is about. I feel like it's just important that you grasp that this is like, hey, fair warning, these things are kind of holding you back and preventing you from really being able to, receive all of these wonderful things here in life. This is your warning that you really need to get rid of these things if you really do truly want to see all of this abundance and these new things come into your world, into your life. Okay, pile number 1 or 2, sorry. So that's something that I'm seeing here with these cards. It's just time to leave these old things behind and let them stay in the past. And then, use this as just, like, hey, fair warning, this is the best time to learn the lesson, and the only way that you're going to be able to receive all these amazing things is if you decide to learn, if you allow yourself, you surrender and allow yourself to learn this lesson. Okay, so let's grab one final card for you here from the Animal Spirit Guide deck. We'll just grab one more for you. I feel like it's this guy right here. And we have the Wise Walrus. So intensity, attentiveness, ferocity. It says, gleaming tusks like silvered moons show me strength through gentle means. So yes, the main thing is just making wise choices. I think you're going to find that you gain a lot of wisdom here by allowing yourself to, like I said, let these things go, learn these lessons here. Pay attention to this. Attentiveness is popping out. Pay attention, I think that's the best way to notice what limiting beliefs you have, is pay attention to the thoughts that pop up in your mind whenever you think about money, or when you think about the type of people who have money, things like that. Just pay attention to that. Intensity, be pretty, I don't know if be intense is really the right phrase, but just tackle this with a bit of intensity, a bit of, what's the word? A bit of intention, really be intentional about tackling these limiting beliefs here in your life regarding money and letting those go so that you can receive all that there is to receive and be set up in a much better position for when life inevitably does what life does. And we're in not the most pleasant situation because it happens, right? So that is what I'm seeing for you. Pile number 2, thank you so much for tuning into your reading. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Helps the video or helps the channel so much. Also, if there's any type of topics that you'd like to see on the channel, go ahead and put those in the comments down below. I read all of those. I respond to all of those. I've gotten a couple of topic requests in the previous video, and I've already began incorporating those. We're already going to be doing one of those in one of this week's videos. I feel like it coincided really well with the new moon in Virgo, so it just, put those down there. We'll definitely get to them. I'm definitely going to include those topics in future readings. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I want to thank your guides for coming through to give you this message, and I will see you all in your next reading. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Pulp Tarot deck for your reading, and today we're going to be taking a look to see what messages your guides have for you about your current financial situation. Before we jump into that, go ahead and hit the like button, comment and let me know too if there's any topics that you would be interested in seeing on the channel. I'm so excited to begin incorporating those requests into our readings every week. I've already gotten a few, and we're going to be doing one of those in a couple of days with this new moon in Virgo reading. It actually just coincided perfectly with that. So we'll be doing that too. So definitely pop those down in the comment section. I totally appreciate it. And like I said in the intro, I do these videos for you guys, to help give you guys guidance and, give you guys messages that your guides would like you to receive in order to help you out on your journey through life. So I'd be happy to incorporate any type of topics that you guys are interested in having readings over or hearing about. I'd love to do those for you all. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump in to see what message about your finances your guides have for you here. Now, we're going to be using this tarot deck that you chose in your reading. So this is what we'll pull the tarot cards from. I have another deck over here that we can use if we feel like we need any clarification. We're going to start off and get a couple of, or we're going to get, the past two decks, past two piles, I said we'll get one message from these cards, and then both decks ended up with two that popped out. So 1 to 2 probably we'll get from this deck here, the Herbal Astrology. I love the imagery on this deck. I think they're so pretty. So we'll get a message from this. We'll be wrapping up your reading with a message from the Urban Crow Oracle, as well as a final little message from the Wild Whiskers Animal Guide or Animal Spirit Guide Oracle deck 2. So let's go ahead and jump in here. We'll get your first cards from this Oracle deck here, and then we'll do your tarot. So a message for pile number 3 over their current financial situation. We're going to grab 2. That's kind of been the theme. So let's go ahead and do that for you guys. Let's see. So we have Dragon's Blood with Anima Mundi. And then we have, I love the imagery on this card. I haven't pulled this card yet. This is gorgeous. Okay. And then we have Ayahuasca with Rebirth. Oh my gosh, this one's gorgeous also. So we will be getting in the guidebook and taking a look to see, oops, I just realized that wasn't totally on screen for you guys. Begin to see kind of what keywords are. This is a relatively new deck for me, so I don't have these all memorized yet. So, oh, and that's interesting. It was 50 and 51. It's really interesting too, because I have shuffled this deck like crazy in all the different ways. So for those to come out like that right next to each other, let me grab that guidebook here and we will take a look to see what messages these cards have for you. So starting with Dragon's Blood. It says, okay, so these are the herbs of the asteroids here. So this is going to be really interesting because these are going to be kind of the, well, they're going to be the asteroids. So they're not like necessarily the major planets. So the asteroids with this one, or represented in this one, are Black Moon, Lilith, and Pluto. Okay. And it says, oneness, merging with the divine, access to the world soul, occult knowledge, initiation, universal donor, and entry into the great world. All right. So it says that, let's see if there's anything that really pops out at me with this. So let's see, it's used in the Amazonia and South America. It has a long history of indigenous use in the rainforest. The sap itself looks just like blood, and it was often painted on wounds to promote healing and seal them to prevent infection, as well as taken internally to prevent or stop internal bleeding. Dragons are ancient guardians of the earth, symbolizing hidden knowledge and auspicious powers of supernatural origin. Dragons are etheric beings that inhabit the deepest pockets of the ethers and have a dominion over the 4 elements. Dragon's blood core oozes blood, representing the collective blood, the blood of nature, and serving as a gateway to the Anima Mundi, the world soul. As you enter into the all-seeing portal of the great void, don't shy away from its vastness. Embrace it as you are undergoing this great initiation. Within this awakening, you will discover the unique pattern you contribute to the great tapestry of life. Okay, and then ayahuasca here. It's on the next page, or the previous page, actually. All right, so ayahuasca, its astrological rulers are Pluto, Jupiter, and Neptune. So, okay, Pluto, Jupiter, and Neptune for this one. It is rebirth, mastery, great revelation, discovery of higher self, meeting with the creatrix, divine messenger, gifts from spirit, realization, telepathy, transcendence. Ayahuasca is an ancient ceremonial brew native to the Amazon, used in sacred spiritual medicine among many indigenous peoples within South America. It's, let's see, traditionally prepared for curing ills, divination, and a diagnostic tool for healing others. Let's see, scientific studies show that it may benefit those dealing with depression and PTSD. Guidance says you are mastering the power of awareness when aligning to a higher power. Ayahuasca's spirit is here to support your ascension, drawing upon ancient wisdom embedded in your DNA and the earth. Allow yourself to be shattered as you travel through the cosmic womb. Ayahuasca catalyzes purification through the cathartic release of the known, only to reveal undiscovered terrain within your soul. You are one with the magnetic brilliance of Source, the intelligence that orchestrates the great mystery. Feeling lost in the labyrinth only comes when a loss of intentionality or respect happens. Offer your greatest intentions, sacrifice your needs, enter into the void without expectation, and allow yourself to be consumed by the oceanic consciousness. Remember, dear one, that to heal the world, you must heal yourself. You are a source of love. Okay, you got really deep cards, pile number 3. Like, wow. That is really, they're both about kind of merging with source, merging with the divine here. When we're talking about finances here, it almost feels like this is something like you have been, you've very much been a conscious creator here in this life, or very much consciously manifesting here with your finances. Pile number 3. So let's take a look at your tarot cards here, see a little bit more about what this message is for you. But there's definitely this acknowledgement here of being guided by spirit, by source, whatever it is, you know, whatever it is that you personally believe. Universe, spirit, source, God, gods, like I said, whatever it is that you believe, it feels like you've definitely been guided by that, guided by your intuition with that. You've been listening to that as well, as kind of what I'm feeling. And you've really been consciously creating the life that you'd like to live. And that is definitely being acknowledged here too. Something that's really popping out at me as well with this ayahuasca. I know I was talking about, you know, allowing it to kind of like absorb into your DNA here. This very much feels with the DNA, this double helix that I'm seeing here. It's almost there's very much like this ancestor, like this ancestry vibe coming in here, ancestor spirit coming in here, that's like assisting you and guiding you. I just got like weird little goosebumps on my left cheek. I don't know if that's something that you guys feel sometimes when you work with your ancestors, but it's definitely something that I'm feeling here for you guys as well. While I'm saying that here, it's almost like chills. So I am like full body chills now. So I definitely feel like you have very, very strong, powerful ancestors coming through when it comes to your financial situation, when it comes to consciously manifesting. So that's something that I wanted to point out real fast before we dive into your tarot cards. But let's go ahead and get started here, kind of find out a little bit more about what this message is for you regarding your finances. Let's see here, get some more cards here about your financial situation and what they would like you to know. Those two, this one, as well as this guy here. And I'm just feeling a lot of these, honestly, so we're going to go do those. Okay. Let's see here. So, we have the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Cups. This is a new deck, a new-ish deck. So the cards are kind of slippery. They kind of jump all over the place. Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles. We have the Star. We have the Sun. Wow, okay. We have the Hierophant. And you guys, I've been having today we've had a lot of cards that are kind of back to back coming in, like this, that are like consecutive. And I cannot tell you guys how much I shuffle these cards and like do all the different types of shuffling in order to make sure that we're not just grabbing consecutive cards because they were consecutive in the deck next to each other. So just, I feel like I just need to go ahead and say that here, especially for you. But we have the Chariot as well, and then we have the Knight of Swords. Let's see where to, I'm gonna move this out of our way a little bit. So we have a little bit more space here. Here we go. I just want to make sure all your cards will fit and you can see them all. Okay. All right. Pile number 3. Wow. So you've got a lot of major arcana cards here. So definitely going through some major, definitely this is a major chapter coming in. Or you're going through some sort of major chapter here in your life with your financial situation here. I just want to make a little bit more room, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so bear with me here while I'm messing with your cards, but we're going to talk about them while I mess with them. So definitely some major events happening or have happened. You're going through that right now. A lot of really auspicious, positive cards for you. Pile number 3. Queen of Cups here. I feel like you are very much in tune with the like divine feminine, very much in tune with, and that doesn't necessarily, that has nothing to do with gender or identity or anything like that. It's just the type of energy that tends to be more like softer, a little more laid back, a little more kind of receiving, like that. I really see that's where you're at here. I feel like you have been really very much a conscious creator here with your finances. You're such an inspiration, pile number 3. You've been very much consciously co-creating, consciously creating your reality here, really listening to your intuition, allowing the universe, your source, your guides, your ancestors to guide you on the correct path, the path that is best for you. And I am 100% saying that working out for you so well. So, Queen of Cups here, like I said, there's this nice, beautiful, I want to say almost balanced energy here with your ability to allow yourself to just kind of relax and receive, relax and allow your cup to be filled, or filling your own cup rather. But I really do feel like it's allowing your cup to be filled to a certain extent here, allowing yourself to really sit back and receive, blessings coming in, your desires being met here. You've really put yourself in a position, I feel like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you've placed yourself in a position here where you can really receive these things. So I see that's definitely being reflected here in your reading, as well as this 2 of Pentacles too. I'm also seeing here that there's this balance that you have created as well. It's like this balance between allowing yourself to receive and being very much in this like divine feminine, allowing your desires to flow in type of energy. She's really like this card. I love the imagery on these cards. They're gorgeous and they're so vintagey, and I love this. But you see here, like, first of all, she's dressed in blue, which is really this, it's this watery energy, this intuition energy. There's actually quite a bit of blue in your herbal astrology oracle cards too, but she's in blue. So there's really this embodiment of that. Notice her shoes are blue as well. So it's like she's very much, it's like her feet, it's like she's standing in this energy. She's residing in this energy almost. But you notice that the chair is green. Like, if something about the color imagery is really coming out. The chair is green though. She's grounded in reality. You know, she's fully grounded, sitting down quite comfortably, I would say. You know, just really sipping her tea, sipping whatever it is that she's drinking here. But seems like she's very satisfied with herself, very entertained as well. Just happily receiving all that there is to offer, really enjoying the energy coming into her, you know, coming into her space, into her world here. So there's that. And I see that you found with that, there's this like nice balance here too. You know, like you've done a great job balancing between receiving, being in this nice receptive energy, while also kind of making good choices here financially as well. With this Two of Pentacles here, you know, it's like your feet, even when the seas are rough, even when things seem rough, you stay very balanced. You have a very balanced mindset. You don't let that shake you. You don't let that go. Like, it's going on in the background, and you don't allow that background noise to impact this energy of being in a place of receiving what it is that you're manifesting here. Okay, so definitely seeing that 100% here. Now the Star card too. The Star card is about rejuvenation to a certain point, to a certain extent. You know, the Star typically follows the Tower card. So it's kind of about restoration, renewal. You notice has fewer clothes on. She's actually kind of, I wouldn't say scantily clad, but maybe for this time period that, you know, this is supposed to represent, it could represent that to a certain extent, which talks about vulnerability here. It talks about vulnerability. It talks about the ability to, I mean, it's ruled by Aquarius, so definitely there's this ability here to think about the collective, and almost how your decisions impact others as well. But it's really talking about renewal, you know, and a sense of vulnerability here, and being comfortable in your own skin too. So being very comfortable and confident with who you are. Okay. Knight of Pentacles here, when we're talking, you know, this is all talking about your financial situation, but Knight of Pentacles, I see that practically, you know, while these are kind of, a lot of these cards are really talking about the energies that you're embodying and coming into in general in your life. Yes, in your financial situation for sure, you know, there's going to be this kind of renewal of finances, this ability to feel, this ability to continue to feel very balanced, to continue to receive here. But with the Knight of Pentacles, I see too that things are moving forward as well. You know, now the Pentacles Knights are not, they're not as fast as like the Knight of Swords here, but we're going to get to that. The Knight of Pentacles is a little bit slower, but it's very much a slow and steady wins, you know, slow and steady wins the race. You see here, there's like this luxury here, you know, with the vehicle that he's driving. And also there's this feeling of ease. I feel like that is something that I'm really feeling from your pile number 3, is this feeling of just ease, like this this man is not pressed, you know, like the Knight of Pentacles, they're on their way, they got a destination. It's almost like he's like got a place to be, he's all dressed up, he has somewhere to be, but he's not in a hurry to get there necessarily. He knows that he will get there, like the party doesn't start until he walks in, you know. The Lord of the Rings quote is coming to me from Gandalf, where it's like, a wizard is never late or early. He arrives precisely at the time he means to. So that's very much the energy here that I'm feeling for you, is there's like just this ease. There's just this I don't know. It's not frantic, I suppose. It's like this lack of frantic energy. I feel like in financial readings, there's sometimes this frantic energy here, and I'm just not feeling that with your reading at all. You've done an excellent job really maintaining this sense of ease and this lack of like just this being unbothered, by situations that come up here with the Knight of Pentacles. So I do see that is something here, that things are going to be moving forward, but I feel like I don't even need to tell you that, though they'll be moving forward, maybe at a slower pace at times. It might feel that way. I feel like I don't even need to tell you not to worry about it, to just continue to receive, because I know that you're going to be in that energy anyways. It's really been the energy that you've been in here. Now, with the Four of Cups, something that I am kind of seeing though here with this card is that though you're receiving all of this financial success, though this is all coming in, it's almost like that there's something missing for you personally here. It's almost like let's see, what is I feel the vibe here, but it's almost like this sense of dissatisfaction, almost like this, okay, I have all of my financial needs met, but like, do I really feel fulfilled here? So I think that there's an emphasis here on recognizing that money doesn't buy happiness. Money isn't everything. Maybe it's even, it's almost like there's a sense of boredom here, or like I said, dissatisfaction, apathy here. So this could possibly be a warning against that, to not allow yourself to become apathetic, not allow yourself to, maybe not appreciate what it is that you have here. It's almost like she has these 3 cups, she's being offered a 4th one, and she's just like, but I already have 3, I'm good, or I'm just not really interested in those. So it's almost like this sense of like, you have everything, all your needs are met, now what type of feeling. So I feel like there's a little bit of advice here. I noticed too with this over the Sun card, it's like, of course, there's this like feeling of joy and happiness and, everything under the sun feeling amazing and wonderful. So yeah, it's not that I see that that's not the case for you, but I do kind of feel like, to a certain extent, like that's not 100% how you're feeling necessarily, or there's this sense of dissatisfaction below the surface here for you. And I think that there's a message here a little bit about, I don't want to say go back to the drawing board, because that doesn't really feel like the right message. That might be the right message for some of you, and that's why that kind of came through, but that's not really what I feel the message is for you necessarily, specifically for the most of you. I feel like the message is, well, to a certain extent, yes, money does buy happiness, because money buys stability. And Maslow's hierarchy of needs talks about we need to have stability and all of our basic needs being met before we can really experience enlightenment or experience emotional fulfillment, So I definitely see that is, obviously, money does buy happiness to a certain extent, because it allows for it almost. Money buys stability, which allows for us to search for or cultivate happiness here. But it is kind of that vibe though, like maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and see, okay, what is it that I truly want? Because I feel like your financial needs are being met and then some, but I feel like this is there's like this major energy here about what is it that you truly want in life is kind of what's coming through. So I think that the message here with this 4 of Cups might be to kind of, take a step back, because and think about what it is that you really want out of life, or what it is that, what else it is that you can manifest that coincides with money, that can make you happy. Pile number 3, because this 4 of Cups is just really like, it's, I don't know, there's just something about it where I really feel like there's this message here, to that, you know, sometimes when we manifest a big thing, it's like we expect, like, it's like when we receive it, like we visualize that, or we visualize that once we receive it, things are going to be different. Like you're going to be a different person once you receive that thing, right? I think a lot of people who have successfully manifested material things come to the kind of come to this impasse where it's like, oh, well, I mean, I'm the same person that I was before. I just now have this thing, you know, to a certain extent. So I think this is like a kind of a call to examine that, kind of a reminder maybe too, that in the end, once we've received all of these things that we've manifested, particularly when we're talking about material manifestations, we're not necessarily going to be a different person. So it's important to do the internal work in addition to doing the internal work and manifest maybe some changes for ourselves internally, in addition to manifesting changes in our physical reality and our material situation, you know, because if you were, I'm just an example, because if you were depressed, let's say, because this very much is giving me this like depression feeling here. If you're depressed and that's how you've been feeling, and you manifest a brand new car, that's what you've been wanting, let's say, we're just throwing that out there, a brand new car, and you receive the car, you have the car, but in the end, you're still the same person you were before you received the car, right? You're still depressed. There's still that has to be dealt with. That has to be acknowledged and worked through in whatever way, shape, or form, you know? So, I mean, that was just an example, not necessarily something that I felt like, I mean, maybe it applies to someone here, but that wasn't necessarily something that I felt like needed to apply to anybody here, or definitely applied to anyone here. Just kind of an example of how, you know, our emotional state can still stay the same and not change, even though we're receiving a lot of great things in our material world, you know. Like I said, I think that's something that a lot of master manifestors experience when they're manifesting material wealth. There's a couple of really great tarot readers that I follow who have talked about this. They've experienced that. I've personally experienced that as well, where I've manifested something really big, something like a major desire, a big thing, something I've always wanted. But, you know, in the end, when you receive that, you're still the same person that you are. So, you know, don't expect the physical material things to come in to suddenly change your inner world and make you, you know, a different person, where you're like, oh, well, you know, if, you know, well, when I get that car, I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be confident. Like, I'm going to be confident. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be, you know, whatever it is that you're visualizing with that, you know, I'm not going to feel depressed anymore. I'm not going to be anxious anymore. I'm not going to be, you know, whatever type of internal struggles that you deal with, because everybody has something. So, you know, just remember that when that physical manifestation comes in the end, you are still the same person internally. And I think it's just something important to remember, that we have to do the internal work as well, and manifest a good, solid, internal who we are, you know, we can't forget about that. We can't just look at the material, because I think that, you know, it's easy to mostly focus on the material when you're manifesting, because that's where a lot of times that's where you're seeing your manifestations occur, right? Is in the 3D. That's where you're seeing it happen. But let's not forget that we need to also take care of our internal state as well, our inner self, you know, because it can really end up being that we receive these things that we've manifested, like I said, particularly material, financial, you know, especially financial. We can find that we get these things and then we're like, okay, well, you know, I'm still a depressed bitch, so now what, you know? So it's just, that's kind of what I'm feeling with this Four of Cups, you know. So this sun, and I notice it's over the sun energy. So this might be something that does kind of prevent you from feeling the full effects of this sun card here, where it's like everything is wonderful and amazing and beautiful. You know, this might kind of be a hindrance for you. And I think that it's here in your reading to point out to you that that is going to be something that you might be currently dealing with, or might have to acknowledge and work through as these physical, financial manifestations begin occurring, and really be, you know, when you start to see those in your life here. Okay, so moving on to this last part here, or last few parts here with your reading. So we have Page of Swords and we have the Chariot. So first of all, the Chariot for sure. Your financial situation, these financial manifestations are coming. They're coming in hot. They're coming in fast. Okay. Knight of Swords as well. So I see that these are definitely coming in quickly for you. I see too with the Page of Swords, let's see, with this one, I don't feel like you're a novice at manifesting. I don't feel like this is necessarily your first major manifestation. But I definitely see that there's this like, excitement around it. I think it's going to be very exciting as these things come in, because they're going to be very validating for you. You're going to be like, oh wow, I really did that. I really created that. So I see that with the Page of Swords, and I see that as you continue receiving these physical manifestations, these financial manifestations that you've been through, or that you've really been working towards here, you're going to feel much more practiced. You're going to feel much more of an expert at these things in comparison to when you started. And I think that shift, that confidence in your ability to use your mind and manifest, I think that is going to come quite quickly for you. And then once you really get going, you're going to be able to manifest these your financial needs, financial means, financial wants quite quickly here. Okay, so the Hierophant. The Hierophant talks about tradition, kind of a conservative mindset here. I do kind of feel like here there is this, it's like this energy of, I see in some readings, I feel like the Hierophant, you know, I really feel like it's an energy that kind of holds us back here. I feel like here it's an encouragement to a certain extent. I don't feel like it's something that's necessarily holding you back. I feel like this is like old wisdom, you know, or something like that you may be learning, okay, between this like Page of Swords and Knight of Swords energy. There might be some sort of wisdom coming in, you know, that you begin to learn about in order to really get your manifestations off of the ground. So this could be a physical person coming in kind of as a teacher, as a guide for you on this journey. But this could also be even something like, if if you pick this pile intuitively and it's resonating for you and you are, consciously creating your reality, manifesting money, you're probably aware of Neville Goddard. You're probably aware of a lot of these, let's see, Neville Goddard, Dolores Cannon, Florence Scovel, some of these type of, they're kind of Hierophant figures to a certain extent. Are they breaking out of the traditional norms of the world and like kind of in general? Yes, absolutely. But within the manifestation sphere, within the law of attraction, law of whatever, et cetera, whatever it is you want to call it, because there's so many different names for it, and then there's like these little boxes that they all fit into, and it doesn't matter, it's not important, but I feel like you're going to definitely be receiving some guidance in some way or benefiting from these people's wisdom here. Okay, so I think that is definitely going to happen. I think that it's also a call to look into some of those. If you haven't, read some of their works, maybe even go back through if you have a favorite book or a favorite author on those, or experts on those subjects. If they, I don't know, I just feel like there's going to be this renewed, almost like a renewed sense of interest in, not that your interest is waning, it's just like this renewed feeling or interest in wanting to go to the source of the information, wanting to go directly to the source. So maybe picking up the books, Neville Goddard's books, and reading them for yourself and making your own interpretations, rather than listening to someone else who's read those books talk about them. That's kind of what I'm seeing here, is kind of going to the source of the information here and finding some sort of guidance through that, personal guidance through that. So that's really something that I'm seeing here with the Hierophant card. And I think that is going to really lead you from going from novice to kind of a master to a certain extent with manifestation, to where you can make this happen. You can manifest quite quickly, quite effectively. And I see that this shift is going, it's going to happen pretty fast for you. Pile number 3. Let's grab a final couple of messages from the last 2 oracle decks that I have here. So I have the Urban Crow Oracle here for you. I'm just going to get a final message for pile number 3. I feel like it's this one. Oh, this is a gorgeous card. It says Bond. Okay. Let me get in the guidebook, because I haven't pulled this card before. Oh, and I opened right to it. That's been happening with a couple of different, particularly with this Oracle deck, it's been happening with a couple different ones. But okay, so Bond says, aside from a few casual swingers, generally male, crows and ravens mate for life. Bond represents a karmic relationship, a connection that goes beyond our everyday existence. Whether it is a relationship to a person, a career, a place, a hobby, this soul-level connection is deep and strong. You can feel it course within your veins. Bond creates an energy that pulls you closer to where you need to be and will tug back when you get too far. When you draw the Bond card, use this as an opportunity to focus on areas of your life that feel deeply connected, because it is here that you find your strength to push forward or conjure the enthusiasm needed to reach a goal. Okay, so I feel like that message really just kind of stands in of itself here, really talking about, this soul level connection here that might kind of be your solution to this 4 of Cups, if that kind of resonated with you, about feeling like kind of apathetic or kind of disappointed maybe in the fact that even when you're receiving your physical manifestations, you're not necessarily feeling some sort of major internal shift. So I feel like Bond is an important thing there to point out, if that's something that resonated for you. I feel like too, we had talked about kind of this feeling of ancestors here guiding you and being very much in your corner, active in your world. I feel like Bond it feels very much like that's something that they want to point out. There's a very strong bond to you. They feel very bonded to you. They feel very invested in your journey and in helping you, and they would like you to maintain this bond. We are coming up on Samhain, which is at the end of October. It's said that it's said that like the veil is thinner, it's easier to communicate with our ancestors and those who have passed over to the other side. So this, if that resonates for you, this might kind of be a call to maybe set up a little bit of an ancestor or an ancestor, oh my gosh, an altar, an ancestor altar, and honor them and honor their, honor their efforts and their assistance here, for you, with you, them working with you and helping you and guiding you along your way. So I feel like that is something that, if that resonates for you, I feel like that's very much a message for you. If the whole ancestor thing resonated, definitely look into doing a bit of an ancestor oracle and honoring them in some way as we come up on this, as we come up on Samhain and this kind of fall time, autumn time, if you're in the northern hemisphere. So that's something to definitely be mindful of, something they'd like you to know. And I feel like, yes, there's like this soul level connection here between you and them, and they really want to acknowledge that, or they would like you to know that they feel very connected to you. Let's pull that final oracle card for you from the Wild Whiskers Animal Guide deck here. I love these cards. They're so cute. And I feel like they always just have some good messages. We've got two, so let's go with that. We have here the Barging Badger, which says determination, focus, and advancement, tireless and resourceful one, share your ferocious spirit and spunk. And then we have Wise Walrus, which says intensity, attentiveness, and ferocity. And it says gleaming tusks like silvered moons, show me strength through gentle means. So definitely here, I feel like determination, focus, advancement, that's really what we're seeing here. Really you've had a lot of determination. You've stayed very focused on this goal, and you're definitely going to advance. You're going to become a much more advanced manifester as well. Pile number 3. I think you're going to experience that too, especially as this bond strengthens. Remember to not forget to do the internal work, so that we find alignment both in our internal and external worlds. Okay, I'm going to stop messing with these cards here. And then with Wise Walrus, intensity, attentiveness, ferocity. I feel like this is just some encouragement here to continue to go after your goals, be intense about it, be ferocious about it. But attentiveness too stands out to me, particularly I felt like it needed to be over here by these cards, which talked a lot about connecting to source and the universe and kind of this deeper spiritual knowledge. Be attentive to your intuition, be attentive to this guidance here, because I think it's going to very much benefit you, especially as this Four of Cups is concerned here. So and even moving on your journey here too, towards becoming an even greater manifester than you already are. So that is what I'm seeing for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for watching your reading. I want to thank your guides and your ancestors for coming through to give you this message today. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel so much. Also, if you have any topics that you'd like to see on the channel, put them in the comment section, and I will absolutely be incorporating those into our readings every week. But I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye, pile number 3.